Good day, viewers. Welcome back to Success Academy. Today, we are going to be doing a straight pencil sketch, and for the previous class, we cut it out on the pattern paper. So this is our pattern paper. We are going to be placing it on the fabric. Here, I have a batik fabric. It's like an Ankara batik fabric. I'm using my scissors, my chalk, and my ruler, and my tape rule. So those are the things you'll be needing for this sketch. It's very easy to make and it's beginner friendly. So let's continue. So these are pattern paper placed on our sketch. So you can see it. I've already placed it. Once you have cut it out, for you to place, it will be very easy. So what are we going to do? We are going to be tracing it out on our fabric. You can actually trace it out or you pin it. So I'm going to trace it out. Like I told you, here is very necessary. You see the way it was slanted. So at the M line too, I'm going to be straightening it out so that for it to balance. So I'm straightening it out. After then, I cut. Everything has been placed in on the pattern fabric before. These are our darts. These are seam allowance. And this is the front pattern. I cut out at the side. This is the front pattern that I'm cutting out. So I'm through with the front pattern now. You can see it will be very easier for you. You can draft out the pattern first before placing it on the fabric. So you see, these are front fabric. So you mark the wrong side so that you won't make a mistake when you are sewing it. So the next one is the back part. So this is the back part, and you already have your pattern paper with you. So the next thing you are going to be doing is to place it on the pattern on the fabric. So you see, this is our material. We are placing it. So you can see it well. I'm placing it on it. So you adjust it to the end very well. So I'm placing it on it. And you can use your iron to iron it down so that there won't be any form of rumpled there. So I'm going to be tracing it out at this side. So you have to adjust your clothes. So I'm tracing it out on the back panel too. And that is the usefulness of pattern paper. Even though your fabric wants to shorten, your pattern paper will help you because you have already shaped it out on your pattern paper. So this is it. I trim out the excess at the down. And don't forget to notch the M allowance. This is it. I've notched it so you can see. And you remove out your zipper allowance, the excess I told you, because it's going to be a key split. That's why we are not slitting the back. So we already have our skirts ready. So this is the front pattern, this is the back pattern. So you mark out your zipper allowance on it. You see, my zipper allowance is already on it before. So I'm going to be tracing it out, and I have 4 inches. I'm going to be tracing the 4 inches out. So when you mark it 4 inches, you know it's not extending to the hook because you have already used the hook for zip. So I'm going to be marking it straight up. So this is what I'm taking to my machine now to sew. See, this is the wrong side. You mark it. So these are what I'll be taking to my machine to sew. So the next thing is our band. So and the waist of the band is 35. In our previous lesson on the straight skirt, you saw it, the waist is 35. So how are you going to measure your waist? If the waist is 35 and I told you it's going to have a band, so the band, if the waist is 35, you are going to be adding minimum of 2 inches to the waist measurement. That means if you are cutting it out on your fabric, you'll be cutting 37, but I will make it 38 so that you won't have shortage by the time you are through. So let's measure this. This is absolutely 38. So this is correct now. This is 38 inches. I'm using my chalk, so I'm getting the band. For the band, this is 38 inches now. 38 divided by 2, this 19. You see, I already have my 38 inches. So the length of the band is going to be 5 inches. The length of the band is 5 inches. You mark it out, you rule it, you mark it out, you rule it, and please let your band be straight. And you cut. So when you cut, after this, we are going to the machine now to sew it. As we are going to the machine to sew it, we come back for our band. This is the band length, and the reason why it's 5 inches is we are going to be putting a band of 1.5 inch, and you will see it by the time I want to do the band. Now I'm already on my machine and we are sewing the skirt. So I have my zip here. I'm going to be putting it at the back of the skirt, and the length of our zip is 7 inches on the fabric, because the length of the zip itself is 8 inches, and you know there is an iron at the down and at the up, so we are using 7 inches for the length of the zip, and you are going to be sewing it from this length of the zip. So I start sewing. You are going to be sewing it from the length of the zip. So whatever you are using for the bending of the down, for the slit, so I'm going to be slitting it by 8 inches, because there is bending there already. So you are going to sew it to that place and you reverse. I always advise people, when you are sewing the back of a skirt or any putting our zip, so I'm going to be sewing the second side. You can see my line. So this is the second side, and I'm sewing very close to iron. So I'm through with the zip now. Do you see it? So this is our zip. I'm through with it. The next thing is our dart. We've already notched the dart on the pattern paper, and you can see it here. I've placed it on the fabric too. I'm going to be holding my dart, and I told you that the dart length is 4 inches. So you fold it, those two notching, that is 1 inch, that is half from both sides, and you mark out your dart length. And when you are marking out your dart length, this is the 4 inches. It has to come like a V shape. You cannot just make it straight. You see the way I did it? It has to come like a V shape. So you measure your 4 inches dart length and shape your hand to it. You know, when you don't shape your hand to it and you go and do it straight, it will affect your hip measurement. This is my dart. So this is the front panel. I'm also placing that on it too. I'm through with the dart placement now. The next thing is sewing it, joining the front and the back panel together. If you look at it, if 41 is 10 1/4, that is 10 1/4, and we have 12 here. So we are holding 1 3/4, and at the waist is waist 35. That is 8.75. That is 8 3/4. Actually mark out what you want to sew. You can actually mark it out so that You will not have, let me mark it out for you. You can do like this so that it will not be a problem for you in sewing, for your shape to come out well. Whatever you are using to sew it, you mark it. When you mark it, you connect it all. When you connect it, you mark it and connect. So when you mark it like this, so that it will show on the other side, you can just place it together. You fold it. You just beat it like this. And you see, it shows on the other side. As it shows on the other side, you just trace it out. So both of them will be on the same measurement. So you can just use that logic like that to see it. So I'm going to be sewing the side now. I'm sewing the side seam reverse. I told you that when you are doing this kind of skirt, if you know you are using a kiss piece at the back, because there is excess measurement there, you make the down to be pencil so that it will not be too bogus. This is the second side. Since you have already marked it, you just have to trace it out. So we are through with the sewing now. You can see it's coming out beautifully. So this place at the back here, I told you you have to use a pin to hold it down. Just have to get a pin to hold it down so that by the time you iron it, because you are still going to lose this place, you are still going to lose it. And our skirt is now ready. This is our table, and this is the skirt. This is our gum stay. You are going to be using this gum stay for the band, and I told you the length is 1.5. You are going to be marking the 1.5. This is the 1.5, and you are going to be tracing it out. That is the measurement for the band, for the stay. How are we going to form the band? You start this way. My iron is on already. You look at the wrong side of the cloth. You see, when you want to place this band, you make sure it's straight. When you are placing this band, this is it. Let me show you very well. When you are placing this band, you will leave half an inch at the upper part. You placed it this way. You see there is an half an inch here, because you are not going to be sewing on this tape. So you are going to be gumming it down. And please, don't draw your iron on this tape. You just have to be placing it gently, because it will help you to lay your fabric well. You see the way I've gummed it. So the next thing, this half inch that you leave off, you are going to be bending it on this tape. So you are going to be bending it on this tape, and that is where the work of this laying stick comes. You are going to be using it to lay your fabric down. You know, because this fabric is soft, there are some fabric that are very thick. You just have to get a laying stick. When you get to carpenter's shop, they can do it for you. You see, when you have already placed it like that, you see the way it is. And you know the band is 1.5. So at the tip of the stay, you are going to be bending it. You can see the reason for your 5 inches now. You are going to be bending it. Please mind that line, because if you bend out of the stay, it will shorten your length. So this is it. I'm bending it on the stay. You can see it. So this is the remaining length. So this remaining length, I'm not going to sew it. I'm not going to sew it to the band first. I'm going to be turning it in so that my band will have a neat finishing. That is the reason for your 5 inches. You have to put it. You see it? When I bend it, I'm going to be bending it on the fabric. Inside, you see, I'm putting it inside. You see where I bend on the, after the stay, and I'm putting it inside. But it will be half inches longer than the band. It's the stay side. Understand this? The remaining one at the down here, when I'm bending it inside, it will be half inch more than the stay part. So this is how you are going to be bending it. It's going inside of half inch, and you will see the reason why you are leaving the space of half inch, because I'm going to show you on the machine. So we are through with our band now. You can see it. You have to iron your skirt and check the shape if it's good. So before we go to our tape machine, the bending of the down is 3 inches. So you are going to be bending it before we move to our machine. This back that I told you the other time, you first of all iron it down for it not to shake. And if you see this place, the way we cut it is for us to be able to put our zip. You know, it's a key split. It doesn't have any slit at the back. You see it? So you have done it like this. You see the way it's looking. So that by the time you open it at the back, so at the down, so you have to measure your 3 inches round. See, this is my 3 inches. I'm using my iron to bend it. But for you to have a straight down, so that one place will not be bigger, one place will not be smaller. I'm removing the, okay, this is my temporary stitches. I've loosed it so that it will be able for me to bend it down at the back. So my 3 inches is still going. Just have to be very careful here. You know the back was not slitted. So for you to get it right, you see, this is the last part, the 3 inches. So when I bring it out this way, see your temporary stitch, you have seen the key splits. So you see what I told you, even though it's a very short one, it won't show your laps at all. So you can actually use your pin to pin it down so that it will not be shifting. So when you open it, the zip up, we are starting from here. As we are starting from here, you see this place, you have to close it up. So what will you do? This is the outside, you will turn it inside to where the stay is. The way you bend it, you are going to be sewing it by half an inch. So when you sew it in like that, you see it, make it smooth. So you turn it out. You can see the way I turn it out. You just use your scissors or your picker to smoothen the mouth. So I'm going to be placing it on the skirt now. And this iron, because of your machine needle, you have to remove the iron. If not, it will spoil your machine needle. So I've removed it that way. But be careful, once you have removed the iron, you cannot zip it up. If not, it will damage your zip. It will damage your needle. So I'm going to be placing it in the middle of the band this way. You see it? And placed it on my machine. So if you look at this, and placed it in the middle of the band, you can see my sewing. Once you placed it like this, at this side, please don't sew it inside with it. Just remove it down like this. So you are placing it and sew. see the way I'm placing it. So by the time you are getting to this place, you know we start from here. You are going to zip it up to where this band starts. I told you don't forget to remove this iron. If not, your needle will break. So I've removed that iron. The next thing is I'm going to check both edge for it to be on a straight line. So once you reach here, you can see I'm straightening it up. You just use your hand and hold it. One hand is holding it and the other hand is opening up the zip. So you see the excess and from this zip to your pass band, that is where we are placing our hook and eye for the skirt. And this pass band is very, very essential because there are some people when they say my skirt is tight, you now lose the skirt at the side. But what about at the band side? What will you use to replace? So it's very good for you to always put this one replacement. So you are going to be bending this place inside. You make it neat. So now you sew it. You see the way it's looking. This is the band. So this way I'm going to be placing my hook. And this is the front. Like I told you, the reason why you make your band, the down one to be bigger, you can see the inside of the band. See the way it's neat. If you place it on the same page, on the same line, this one will be shorter and your band will be coming out from inside. You can see it. So this is all. You can either hem it, or you weave it, or you sew it down. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. We always explain very well. It's a tutorial you will love. And thank you so much. See you in our next video.